Hello, everyone. This video will cover the process of creating a checklist. We will begin by explaining that checklists are created on the UI role. To create a checklist, you will first navigate to the menu and then search for the checklist window. Once in the checklist window, click the New Record button. In the name field, you should enter a meaningful name for your checklist. In the type field, you will see two options available: simple checklist and questionnaire. We will begin by configuring the questionnaire type. To make all questions within your checklist mandatory, you should mark the mandatory checkbox as true. If you do not require all questions to be mandatory, then leave this checkbox as is. Now save the record. To add questions, navigate to the Question tab, then click the New Record button. In the Question field, you will enter your specific question. The Answer Type field determines how the user will respond to this question. Three options are available here: checkboxes, option, and text. If checkboxes is selected as the answer type, the user will be able to select multiple answers at once. If option is chosen, you can then specify the answer selection. Selecting multiple for answer selection will allow the user to choose several options, while selecting single answer selection will restrict the user to choosing only one option from the list. Save the record. Next, navigate to the Answer tab. Click the New Record button to define the available options that correspond to the question you just created. You have now defined the list of predefined answers. To add another question, return to the Question tab. Proceed to add the next question. If option is selected as the answer type, the user will then be able to choose only one answer from the predefined list that you provide in the Answer tab. To add another question, click on the New Record button. If text is selected as the answer type, the system will display a text input field within the checklist, allowing the user to manually type their answer instead of choosing from a predefined list of options. Save the record. If you require a specific question to be mandatory, you should mark its corresponding checkbox as true. If it is not intended to be mandatory, then leave it as is. For this example, we will mark this checkbox as true. Save the record. The checklist has now been created. The next step is to assign it to a specific window where it will be displayed. To do this, navigate to the menu and search for the Checklist Assignment window. Click on the New Record button. In the Checklist field, select the checklist that you have created. In the Screen field, select the appropriate screen name where you want to display the checklist. Then, in the Tab field, select the tab where you want to display it. If your checklist contains multiple questions, you can specify the number of questions that display per page. For example, you might enter 1 here. If you enable the Mandatory to Fill checkbox, the user will be required to complete the checklist before saving or submitting the record. Otherwise, an error will appear, preventing the record from being saved. If you mark the Show Based on Condition checkbox as true, the checklist will only display when specific conditions are met. Proceed to mark this checkbox as true. Then, go to the Condition tab. Click the New Record button. In the Column field, select the field you want to base your condition on. For instance, select the Price field. In the Operation field, select the operator you want to use for comparison. Next, enter the value in the Equal to field. For instance, input 400. This condition ensures the checklist will display only when the price value is less than or equal to 400. Once done, save the record, then reset the cache and refresh the link. After this, navigate to the menu and locate the window where the checklist was assigned. The checklist panel is displayed on the right side. Within this panel, the questions that were created are visible. As configured, only one question is shown per page. Now the condition can be verified. When the price value is 400 rupees or less, the questions appear in the checklist. Conversely, if the price exceeds 400 rupees, the questions do not display, as the defined condition is not met. Let's proceed to fill out the checklist. The first question is mandatory, so if it is not filled out, the checklist cannot be completed, and an error will be displayed. To demonstrate this, click on Submit. Observe that an error is now shown. Similarly, if all questions are marked as mandatory using the checkbox in the checklist window, it will be necessary to provide an answer for every question. Now let's fill this out. Then, click Submit. The checklist is now submitted. This submission was successful because the mandatory to fill checkbox was marked as true in the checklist assignment window. Saving a record without filling the checklist will prevent the save and display an error. To demonstrate this, click on New Record and proceed to create a new record. Next, save the record. An error will appear, confirming that the checklist must be completed before the record can be saved. After filling the checklist, save the record. The checklist is now submitted. If you wish to prevent users from saving a record without completing the checklist, simply mark the relevant checkbox as true within the checklist assignment window. To view the submitted response, navigate to the menu and locate the checklist response window. Within this window, you can identify who submitted the checklist, along with the specific date and time of submission. Additionally, the Checklist Response Line tab displays the actual answers provided for each question. We will now understand the simple checklist. To begin, navigate to the checklist window and create a new checklist. Provide a meaningful name for it. Select Simple Checklist as the type. Save the record, then proceed to the Question tab to add your questions. Save the record. To add additional questions, click the New Record button. Click on New Record. Select the checklist that you created. In the screen field, add your screen name, such as TRN126_selling detail. Select the tab, then set the question limit. Now, save the record. Since a simple checklist was created and it is not conditional, unmark this checkbox and then save. Perform a cache reset. After that, refresh the link. Now, go to the menu and search for the window where you assigned the checklist. On the right side, a checklist panel is displayed. A simple checklist is a predefined list of questions or checkpoints associated with this specific screen. The user can review these points and mark them as completed. Then click on Submit. This concludes the explanation of the checklist, covering its configuration, assignment, and how to view the responses submitted by the user. Thank you for attending.